blackberry is our climate for the leader of succession. Blackberry is what advances a forest. So if you ever want to stop a forest, don't grow blackberry around it.
Because it'll keep going out.
It'll keep going. So a forest grows on a dead forest. So everything, all those leaves and all the blackberries as it goes, it's creating humus and soil. And it's the first thing that's creating all that, and it suffocates everything else. Have you guys ever been around blackberry and just seen it? I mean, it's thick as can be.
Can't get through it.
You go into tropics or subtropics, that switches over to something called lantana. Right?
That's what we got. I got that at home growing, and it's going crazy.
It does good.
Lantana is beautiful,
And
it's on the 5 most noxious weed. It's number 5 on the most noxious weed list in the world.
Yeah. Wow. It's hard to get rid of.
I want to say blackberry is probably 5.5, but at least you can eat some.
Yeah, right. And they're good.
They are really good.
And the other thing about what I'm putting in here is it has a known life cycle. That buckwheat can't become invasive unless I let it go to seed. It still really can't. Buckwheat, even when it's big and growing, it's a very shallow root. If you grab a stalk of buckwheat and pull it, it just comes out of just about any ground real easy. The daikon, it's going to live 18 months if I don't kill it.
How do you normally kill it? How do you think you're going to do that?
I just chop it off the top. I leave the roots in the ground. Every time I pull something out of the ground, I open a place for something else to go in there that I don't want. So the only time I open the ground is if I decide I want to plant something right in that bare spot, I'll open a hole just enough big enough to stick whatever it is in. If it's a seed, I'll use my pinky. You know, if it's a plant, I'll use a trowel.
So you're going to pull the daikons before they go to seed?
I may leave some of them just go. What I'll do, most of them I won't pull, I'll cut. I'll leave that root, and I'll let that root die.
What do you use to cut with?
I use that little sickle I showed you with the serrations. I'll show you in there. There's a little half sickle, and it's got serrations. Because that way I don't have to chop. Because that way I'm not trying to chop this and I'm cutting my sage. I can go in and I can cut. Those tools were originally made for harvesting grapes. Because if you go into wheat and you're cutting sheaves of wheat and you're chopping, you're knocking wheat into the field. So you would go in and you take those serrated rice or wheat or whatever and you cut your sheaves and you leave your stubble high. And then a guy comes in behind you with a scythe and scythes off the shaft for straw. Right, but you do it in 2 separate harvests. You don't come in and scythe the wheat because you'll end up with half your wheat laying on the ground or half your rice laying in the paddy. And I would love this. I would love to have a thin layer of straw over this, but I have not found a local source of straw that I trust yet. And if anybody can get me some, I need a crap ton of it. Jeff's coming here at the end of August, and he's going to want lots of straw.
How do you determine whether this straw is good?
I just need to know where it came from. If it came from a field of something that's been sprayed with an herbicide, I know I don't want it. You know.
There's methods of thinking on this. Trust nature. If it has glyphosate, don't use it. But if it's got some herbicide or pesticide on it, it ain't going to be good. So good your first year probably using it.
It'll break down.
It will break down, and the fungus and the bacteria are going to make it inert. They're not going to make it available.
This is the danger right now, though. They have these persistent ones, like a million pennything, and those have half-lives of 7 to 10 years.
That's dangerous.
And that's what you got to be real careful of. A little atrazine or something like that, like you say, especially with straw. What kills herbicide, which breaks it down, is the fungus, but also UV. So the straw is much less dangerous than compost with residuals and if it's subsoil. That straw is up here in the sun, just beating the hell out of it, you know? And you can do some remediation, you know, oyster mushrooms will pull a lot of toxins out, sunflower will pull a lot of toxins out. Charlie, get out of my garden. Since it's an ecosystem. I don't want hay, I want straw.
Jake, gotta be careful. We raise cows, and I would use cow manure in my garden. And we had natural grass roots, but we bought hay, and the hay we got had graze on it.
That's purple deck.
And it ended up,
I think that's what I have, but I didn't put it in here intentionally. I probably got a little bit in the mix I made. Yeah. There's one there.
With the straw,
cows were eating hay that had graze on it.
Yeah.